Hello, Kirk McDowell here with contributionselling.com. I'm here to answer the question, what do you mean by sales training? So this is a question that comes up. So sales training is pretty simple. It's training someone to be an effective salesperson. Obviously, I'll say a little bit more about that. Uh, I'm a professional sales trainer, so I'll speak from a trainer's point of view, like what sales training is, and hopefully that'll open up the conversation and kind of give you some access to either improving your sales performance or even getting yourself trained. So, the most key important things I think is to notice that people have resistance to salespeople, like customers, like whoever you might be selling to, business people, homeowners, couples, whatever it is, right? People have resistance to salespeople. Have you noticed? You have resistance to salespeople, right? You probably have an opinion that most salespeople are lying to you, and they'll do whatever they need to do to get you to make the decision they would like you to make. Okay, so if that's true, it's also not unique. Most people have sort of a defensive mechanism when they encounter a sales situation or a salesperson. You go up to a clothes store and you're looking for something real specific, and the attendant comes to you and says, "Hey, can I help you?" You go, "No, I got it." And you actually need help, right? But there's this defensive mechanism. Or you walk onto a car lot and you're looking at cars and you're looking for something real specific. Someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, can I help you find what you're looking for?" "No, no, no, I got it, I got it, I got it." Right? So there's a natural sales resistance, right? And so you're going to encounter that, right? It's not a problem, but you need to understand what it is and why it's there, right? So it makes perfect sense, by the way, because people don't want to be tricked into or talked out of anything. People have take a lot of pride in making their own decisions and making their own choices in life, and to be around someone who they suspect is going to talk them into something or talk them out of something is very uncomfortable, right? Many people have the experience that the salesperson has some sort of an advantage. That's actually probably true, right? But it feels unequitable, like it feels unequal, right? Like you walk into a store or a car lot or a place of business, so someone comes to your home to talk to you about something, and there's an experience like you're already outgunned, the silver tongue sales devil, whatever, right? And so that knee jerk resistance actually makes a lot of sense. Okay, so the first thing is, don't judge it, don't try to avoid it, don't you just got to understand that that's part of the process, right? So your job literally is to pierce that automatic resistance and to uncover what someone needs and see if you can provide a solution, right? Now, notice that's very different than your job is to go and close the deal. I have a pretty long background in sales, 30 plus years. I started off in the copier business, very, 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 very competitive. Medical sales, consulting sales, etc. Right. So I have and some personal sales. I was in the wedding business for a long time, so I dealt with brides and that kind of thing. So a nice mix of different types of environments, different types of customers, different types of products and services. So the key is here, right? If you are trying to manipulate someone, if you're literally trying to show up and outsmart, outmaneuver, outquestion, dominate, control, maneuver, position, cajole, all that stuff, right? You are the problem. So congratulations, you're part of the problem, right? Because that's why people are resistant with salespeople, right? Because I personally have had a lifetime of experiences of unpleasant interactions and situations regarding salespeople and sales situations that I also have a little bit of resistance. Now, I kind of have fun with them, right? Because I'm generally more experienced, more trained than any salesperson I run up against. So I kind of have a little fun at their expense, because it's just how I like to do that. Rather than getting annoyed, I just have a little fun with them, right? But if you're not that person, if you're not like more experienced than people you're who are trying to sell to you, right? It feels unbalanced, right? So the first thing you want to do is not judge it. Don't be. Uh, just notice that phenomena is there on purpose, and notice that. So another thing. So notice that most people are manipulative. Now, I don't know how that lands on you, but most people, when put to a test, will opt for their own advantage, right? So an example, right? So salesperson, oh my gosh, I want to be one of the good people. I'm not going to be a rough closer. I'm going to treat people with respect. I'm only going to serve people who I can really help. And so you have all these lofty notions, right? And then you get into a situation and you're almost there. The person's almost saying yes. And then you realize there's something off about the match between your service and the customer. Like you're not quite the right deal. You're not quite right for them, right? Or maybe there's a better competitor or something. Like you have all of a sudden notice that, oh, wait a minute, I'm doing this for me and not for them, right? Most people in that moment will press on and close the deal for themselves and putting the customer's interest second behind their own personal interest, right? So if that's you, that's not going to work, right? It's going to work the way that it does, right? You can get really good at that. Like I initially did in the copier business. I was manipulative and well-trained and very charming, and I didn't have the types of commitments that I have now around being a contribution and being someone of integrity. So yes, you can be effective in sales, being a manipulator, outmaneuvering, outsmarting, being more trained than your opponent, right? This adversarial kind of environment. But there's a whole other alternative called contribution selling, where the training and the work is how valuable can you be? How much of a contribution can you be? As opposed to trying to figure out how you can maneuver a situation where you don't get an objection and you close the deal, right? Very different commitments, right? One commitment is to bring the value. Let the person experience you as a resource. Let the person experience your integrity. Let the people experience the contribution that you are and your commitment to making their life better, making their business better, solving some major problem that you have. Like I love solving problems for people. If I'm in an engagement with a client, or I'm in a discovery, a sales situation, a discovery call situation, I take real pride and real delight in providing way more value than they ever thought was possible. And I literally wrap it up in about 30 minutes. So if somebody does a discovery call with me, I provide tremendous value. I create a context, like a foundation for the conversation, like a vessel for the conversation that's very safe for them. I let them get what they need from me. I don't beat them up about doing business. I give them a taste of what it's like to do business with me as a coach, right? And but it's all heart-centered. It's all value. It's all contribution. I'm not setting them up for the big hit. I'm really not, right? I could do that, and I've done that in the past, right? So I'm not even being in an ivory tower about it. Like I have done that in the past, right? But I don't do that anymore. And it's unnecessary, and it's not even the most effective thing, right? It's completely unnecessary. So back to the alternative, right? Which is being a contribution and operating in integrity, and providing value, giving someone a taste of what it's like to interact with you in such a way that they want more. I'm gonna say this a couple different ways because it's super critical. So you interact with people in a way they want more of you. By the way, if you're selling yourself, like if you're a coach or a consultant, or you're providing a service or product where you're needed to do some follow-up, you actually want them to be connected with you. Even if you're selling something that doesn't involve follow-up with you, you still want them to be connected with you because you want them to have a desire to do business with you. And by the way, who do people have a desire to do business with? People who are contributing to them, people who are bringing value to them, right? So the question is, what do you mean by sales training? So you need to have some kind of a structure, some kind of a study guide or mentor perhaps, or coach, or some kind of book, a structure, videos, whatever. You need to start training yourself to be the person, literally be the person people want to do business with. Now, it's not super complicated. I'm just going to give you, this is actually a gold nugget. So it feels like it's not going to be that valuable because I'm just tossing it out, but this is gold, right? So if you just look within yourself, in your own experiences, there have been sales situations and salespeople that were delightful for you. And if you notice what the qualities of that salesperson or that sales situation were, there was something like they really listened, they really cared, they were professional, they didn't interrupt, they really were supportive, they really provided value, right? Something like that. Notice none of that is difficult. You could do all of that. You could listen, you could care, you could have integrity, you could be supportive, you could be a contribution. You could do that, I promise. And the situations that you didn't like in your memory, like when you bought that used car 5 years ago or whatever it was, right? What are the qualities of that situation that you didn't like? He was rough. They were rough, rude. They didn't care, manipulative. They interrupted me, that kind of stuff. Now, you do some of that. Maybe not when everything's perfect, but you notice in life and in business, not everything is butterflies and rainbows. There's not an infinite amount of time to have any conversation. It's not always stress-free and pressure-free. Like all these different things come into a sales environment, which sort of give the experience of pressure or oh my gosh, right? Maybe you have some personal financial needs you need to take care of, right? But all that is secondary. All that is your attention on you, and that's the start of being manipulative, right? Just keep returning yourself to being a contribution to a high state of personal integrity and listen for how you can contribute to another human being. And they will notice that and they'll have a desire to do business with you. And if you're a good match, that's a good thing, right? If your service or product is a good match for a customer and they want to do business with you, that's what you're looking for, right? So the type of training that you need is training that would get you to let go of ways of being and patterns and ways of speaking that are unproductive, that are consistent with sales situations and environments that you didn't care for, and start training yourself and practicing bringing up those qualities that you did like: listening, caring, integrity, being supportive, being a contribution, so forth. All right, good. So we're about 11 minutes. I'm going to keep these videos from 10 to 12 minutes. So 11 minutes was pretty good. And that is the answer to the question. What do you mean by sales training? All right, Kirk McDowell, contribution sales training. Contribution selling. If you want more information, you want to get some free training, there's a button below to click. There's a 10-minute value video that's really hot, and will provide will be an immediate contribution to your sales efforts. All right, take care, guys. Bye-bye.